Alright, we are underway. Move 11. Move 11 with... That's a nice present you got there. 350 gift subs. Founder. And a VIP. I always yawn on your stream. I've got games from ABC, Only Ars, Asterbate, Tizik Man, Miro BTW, and Snedsteg. So I may have forgotten someone. I haven't gotten a game from Schumacher in a while. Schumacher. If you are a subscriber to our stream, you're welcome to submit a game for our analysis. For our analysis and your humiliation. Have a nice day. So I may have overlooked someone. We played some Blitz games yesterday. Alright. Move 11. I just do the best I can. Do the best I can with the crap I'm given. What do we got? Move 11. Welcome. Alright. What do we got? Arsenal fan, my submission for Thursday's game. Yeah. It's just that lichess doesn't work for me. You know, the normal... I have to get PGN. The Marley Social Club. The Bob Marley Social Club. Let's try this again. Copy. Tools. Analysis board. Oh, Jesus Christ, mouse. Why do you have to make everything so difficult? So many problems with Arsenal fan constantly. Alright. Very needy. Does the little woman ever say that you're needy? Chapter 7. Does anything happen? Did something happen here? Do I get a result and stuff? Still don't get a result. You know, that doesn't matter. Not getting a result. Either way. Not my problem. It's not my problem. Not my problem, dude. Alright. Move 11, are you going to submit a game? Take it up with Thibault. Take it up with... What was his name? Thibault. Who's that football player? Tried to play baseball, but he sucked. Tim Tebow. I guess that's like a really demented... Like Miss Thibault is like a demented way of spelling the French name. Alright. I should talk, right? Alright. Arsenal, your game is not up yet. I'm sorry. Settle down. Somebody put the muzzle... You suddenly made me think of... You're making me think of Hannibal Lecter. Somebody put Arsenal's muzzle back on till it's his turn. Oh, man. Alright, we're going to do ABC. Is this the same game as last time? No. Am I getting my evening headache on again? Okay, are we good? We've got camera action, lights. I'm in the sort of near the board in the camera. I've seen like FMs and IMs call themselves like GM something, but this is a new one where a CM is actually GM Ruidor. So I've seen FMGM and IMGM, but CMGM, that's pretty optimistic, bro. Why not like WFMGM, WCMGM? Are you serious? Gary Modell? Like Modell Sporting Goods? Alright. Maybe. There was somebody called El Rodor. I remember a long time ago, maybe on ICC or something. I didn't understand what it means. Alright, so ABC GM is playing... everybody's a GM in this game, by the way. There's ABC FIGM versus GM Rodor. Grandmaster versus Grandmaster. 11. Please state the request in the form of a question. It's like Jeopardy. Thank you, Your Honor. Check out how formal he is. He's like, I am submitting a 5+3 blitz game played on lichess yesterday. That makes it official. Alright. Get PGN. Submit it to the Kraken. Release the Kraken. The only way I can do it is to trust it is to do the get PGN method. Ooh, everybody's like 100 move games. Find the longest game you could possibly find, like Arsenal fan. Who used to do that? One of the viewers was only submitting like super long games, like they got their money's worth. Ooh, that didn't work out very well. What the hell? Hello, you're not working. Alright, let's try to do this a different way. View on lichess. Wow, that's special. Real games, because only real games are long. Alright, move 11's. I am submitting is in there. Okay. That's 7 games. I think that's enough for today. Ooh, I'm tired. I'm out of here. Okay. We're back to game 1. ABC is playing black, and I know he wants to play the Tartakover, Queen's Gambit. It's a problem for English players. I played e4 against you in that other game. I played this against a bunch of people. Most people don't play e4. It's rather rare. g3 right away. You know, by the way, like, is there some advantage of playing g3 right away versus knight f3? I wonder. Advantage, disadvantage? Statistics are almost identical. I mean, you're giving away that you're going to play the Catalan. I don't really see a problem with this. I mean, the move order with g3 is just... There's no way it could be really worse than knight f3, I guess. Knight f3 leaves you with more options, maybe. Alright. But g3's fine. And now black plays d5. Making sense with our Queen's Gambit repertoire. But, you know, I mean, depends what you play against the English. Shockey, I know, has a big love for the symmetrical English, but Sicilian players might consider playing symmetrical English. Um, let's see. Okay, d5, bishop g2. For the standard Queen's Gambit player, this is normal. And now, knight f3. Knight f3 is the best move. So we're in downtown Catalan town. Cattle town. So this is an important point, right? Black can play either the open Catalan or the closed Catalan. And I have this kind of weird theory about, and white isn't committed to a Catalan. I should actually be clear about this. Exactly. White has not committed to a Catalan. Okay. So we might see the Reti, Ricard. The Reti, the Catalan. Yeah, it's not a Catalan. Okay, I should stand corrected. Obviously, white can play d4. Well, likely most people are going to transpose. I guess I'm kind of biased because it's the best move for white, you know. But it's important to consider here also against the Reti, like, do you want to play a open Catalan type of thing? Whatever. This is fine. Yeah, now white has to decide to play Catalan or Reti. So he chooses Catalan. And now, I think the Catalan is better than the Reti, there's no question. The Reti doesn't offer white any edge. It's like very equal. Actually, white can even be worse if he's not careful. But now, our hero, GM ABC FI, decided to play the rather unusual but common, in my opinion, on lichess, b6. So, I mean, you know, you got the open Catalan, a sort of delayed open Catalan, right? This is like main line. You've got two kinds of closed Catalans when they know bd7 and c6. I think, like, objectively, probably the capture is like black's best, and you can analyze these variations very deeply. But I mean, if you look at the statistics, there's one thing that stands out, of course. White's winning chances are just outrageous in all the closed Catalan lines. Okay, c5 is a Tarash, so we don't really want to be playing the Tarash with this move order. What's really striking about this statistics here, if you guys see the statistics, I know the announcements, notifications are on the right, but you can see the top four, which is all that really matters. White's winning percentage is really high across the board, but particularly lower against d takes c4. So let's say this is black's best, and that's what like most top players play. Well, it's ironic, it is sharper, but black's winning chances are actually, I think both sides' winning chances are actually lower. There's a lot of lines that like peter out to draws, where they're very long variations, and they've been heavily, it's, you know, easier to analyze because it's like more forcing. So I think the advantage of playing a closed Catalan is that the position, you have less space and objectively you're worse. But it's in other words, if you're trying to win with black, I think you're better off playing with less space, a slightly cramped position, and going for the closed Catalan, because you're not trading pieces. You know, you're keeping the game more tense. But it's not easy to play. Objectively, I think if you want to hold a draw, this is a better way to go. If you want to win, then you play a kind of closed Catalan. I think the closed Catalan with c6 is probably a tad more accurate than knight on bd7, because there are some lines where you're controlling c6. I think it's useful to delay the knight. c6 is probably objectively more useful. Then you don't have to play knight d7 right away. All right. yeah, black does better with c6, and it's more commonly played. I mean, one of the things about c6, like, you're threatening to take this pawn and try to hang on to it, you know. So in a sense, it's a little bit more forcing. But I guess if you play knight on bd7, you could try to grab the pawn and play like knight b6. But that's like very weird. Alright, anyways, long explanation now. Is b6 a mistake? Well, whenever white sees b6, I suddenly had this impulse to play c takes d. So one of the things about this is, like, if you play this, this is like not really a good move for white, I would think. Well, yeah, I mean, I know it's not a good move. Even this is okay, but I mean, this is definitely fine for black. So when you play b6, suddenly c takes d becomes better, because this position is not so easy for black with the diagonal here and likely hanging pawns in the future. Position is kind of dynamic and better for white. So b6 gives white the opportunity to take on d5. You love hanging pawns. Well, most people don't, and I think most people are biased the other way too far. In this case, Arsenal fan is like a far leftist in hanging pawn like political theory. He's like Fidel Castro in terms of hanging pawns. I'm more of a centrist. Most people don't like hanging pawns to the extent where they're like paranoid and afraid to accept hanging pawns. Hanging pawns are dynamic. Alright, so b6 allows cd. He plays it, and then you made the knight takes d5, which looks really freaky. So I would say next time play c6 if you want to play a closed setup. White has knight c3 as well, but I mean, I guess it's just gonna... First of all, we could transpose back into something. This is weird. Is e4 strong? Well, I mean, it's looking very, very likely. I mean, I would be thinking about this diagonal, and is there any way we can go full on, you know, full on mid 2000 Levon Aronian on your ass here, you know, prime Aronian with some kind of multiple pawn sacrifice, like trying to blow black away in the center. Yeah, this doesn't look right for black. But I would think like white has to follow up like very energetically. Could we try to blow black away with d5 or something? Maybe it's not necessary right away. But I would at least consider it. Yeah. We're not getting enough, it looks like. I was thinking about this. This looks like black can play. I mean, similar to a Queen's Indian pawn sack sort of line. It looks like it's not enough. We just have to rule it out. So white should play knight to c3, bishop b7, and then just keep the tension. The question is, if black tries to play c5, what happens? Ribley, 1996 happens. Shanklin happens. Now d5 is strong. Pawn takes pawn. Pawn takes pawn. If knight takes pawn, you get obliterated. Wow. That's good to know. Yeah, but anyway, alright. To make a long story short, black should not ever take back with the knight in this kind of scenario. You have to reinforce with your pawn. If your bishop was already on b7, I mean, like, maybe you could think about it. But basically the idea is take back with the pawn. If you don't like this position, then you shouldn't play b6. And you should do c6. But this is a bad idea. e4, knight f6. So this is the game. And then rook e1. And then c5. Yeah, your only other move is knight d7. Which has been played, apparently. It's just like whenever you play c5, white's going to push. He's not going to let you just trade off his center. It looks really, really dangerous for black. This is just power pawn. So I don't blame you for playing c5 right away, but the question is how are we going to deal with this d5? Yeah, he didn't know. Did Hans Ray lost with white in 1977 to Miles? I can't believe people are actually playing 98. Sean Vibert. This is some American kid. Alright. Yeah, this is a nightmare. E takes d5. E takes d5. And so the point is, knight takes d5 loses to knight e5. So Anthony Miles somehow managed to hold on with bishop d6 in 1977. But yeah, you're like Arsenal was talking about. Now bishop g5 is even stronger. Vandermorsel. Yeah, man, this is really bad. Wow, Ribley played like knight h4. Even that's, dude. Even that's scary. Like, do you really want to play g6 in this position? Yeah, so it's just a disaster scenario. You're so lucky that this guy took on c5. You could actually take with the pawn here. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but it's possible that, you know, it wouldn't be that bad. These types of pawns in the Caro-Kann and those Isolanis aren't that bad. But I don't really see any reason to do that. Plus, you might have tactics against f2. Yeah, wow. This is kind of weird the way white's playing. Now he plays bishop g5. I mean, what does that do? Can't we just play h6? Is he gonna sack a knight on g5? You can trade queens and play g5. No, but bishop g5, okay. You can't trade your knight off, and you can't go to h4. So if black plays h6, all you've got is like bishop f4, inducing h6, and white also has to be careful about f2, and what is he doing about this? So after h6, like bishop f4, knight g4, and white's in a kind of awkward situation there. I'm not loving that rook e2 type of stuff. This doesn't look right, you know. I don't think bishop g5 is right here. If I were white, I would probably play... I mean, I don't know. Do you have to play h3? Does he have to play like h3 and stop knight g4? It's possible, but then he like might drop a pawn. Queen takes, rook takes, knight to c4. Now there's a tactic. No. He probably has to play queen takes queen and h3, which is really super lame. Bishop h4 will never work because we're going to trade queens and then play g5. So he plays queen takes d8, rook takes d8, and then, yeah, I mean, theoretically you could play like bishop h4, but it's pretty crazy. It doesn't work, does it? No. So he just settles for this, but this sucks for white. You know, my basic instinct is that this sucks for white, but he might be like not lost or anything. You have control of the open file, pressure on f2, and white's only hope is like trading off your bishop pair, like his typical Catalan idea. But I mean, I think that black's development is good now. So he plays e5, and then you play knight d7. Maybe e5 is a good move, because you honestly you want to go to c6. You like to go to c6, and after e5, he's threatening this f6 pawn, and I don't know about knight c6. I mean, you'd have to sacrifice a pawn. I don't know if that's justified or not. Yeah, I mean, knight d7 is just very, very solid. So now you're slightly better. And actually, I think, you know, actually, he might have to play h3. I'm gonna miss these ambulances, guys. It's really gonna miss those. Whee! Alright. Takes here. Takes, and then you're on the 7th. White is, like, worse. This is a simul, right? Now the question is, take or not to take? Probably you should take and then take the file and then penetrate to the 7th again, if possible. So, I mean, this might be a good move. Does knight a4 work after rook d2? What you smoking? What you smoking, Arsenal? Alright, here. What about this? Take and then go rook d8. And then you're threatening to reappear. So that looks truly dangerous. Maybe white's in big trouble. I mean, white's really going to have to scramble to not be seriously worse here. Knight f3, because this is also weak, right? White's like literally hanging on by a millet thread here. What's the advantage? +1. He's just hanging on by a thread. Arsenal, the f2 pawn is hanging with check, bro. Get with the program. This is hanging with check. We can't be allowing that. Alright, rook e2, rook d8, rook e1. Yeah, this isn't as good. We didn't get in on a 7th. This looks really hard for white to meet, honestly. Takes, and rook d8. He could try, I don't know what. Yeah, like I said, knight f3. Knight c4 is bad because of b5. He's got this weakness. This is weak. This is weak. Very close to lost. So this is not quite as good. Now we have no immediate way to penetrate. Can you? You can't go here. You can't go here. You're still better. Rook takes rook. Rook takes rook. Unfortunately, the way on the 7th, the knight on e5 is kind of stabilized. I think now it's like close to equal. King g7 doesn't help us that much. You know, there may be cases where the king is even better here. So he plays knight c4, which seems like a strange move, to be honest. Yeah, bishop b4 is interesting. Yeah, okay. Like this type of move. Yeah, probing. But there's a problem here with this fork. Unclear, but I think it's just a draw at this point. You know, that's all there is. I don't think I'm crazy about knight c4 pulling his knight off of this, but maybe he should have gone to f3. f3 is safer. Exactly. No, I don't know. Maybe you should exchange a set of rooks. I don't really see how exchanging a set of rooks hurts you. But you know, I'm kind of neutral on it. White is slightly worse, a tiny bit worse here. He allows this. Ooh, that was risky. Now he's definitely slightly worse again. This is a good move. This is reasonable. And white's just hanging on for the draw. Maybe b5. What about white playing g5? Maybe you should play king g6 then, preventing g5. It should be a draw. You did play king g6. Okay. a4. Objectively, it's a draw. Well, that's awkward. That's super awkward. Now it's not a draw. You're still better. Yeah, so you got like bluffed out here. You can totally play for a win with king e5. You're up a pawn. Rook h8. Yeah, it feels like white made a mistake. I mean, white had no reason he had to play g4. In fact, it doesn't even really make sense to play g4. He's just supposed to hold on for a draw here. It doesn't really make sense to trade off your isolated h-pawn necessarily. You know? He should really be trying to simplify. So, you know, clearly like rook takes rook, rook takes rook, rook e2. To be fair, like this is not the optimal endgame. He really wants a rook endgame, not a knight endgame. But it still should be a draw. If you play, this has got to be a draw. It's a knight endgame though. It's complicated. Yeah. So you're better here. You're winning a pawn. In the game continuation. And draw. All right. Yeah, good game by you. You know, I don't think he played great, but it's a simul, and I'm sure I play a lot of games as poorly as he did. But in the simul conditions, you know, it's normal for the simul player to be playing sort of below normal skill. Yeah, king e5. Yes, move 11. Only arses. Yeah, black should be playing for a win there. The blue Elmo. It's hard to relate to Sesame Street when you're like colorblind. Alright. What do we got? The arse. Yeah, I don't think he really has any counterplay. Objectively, it's a pretty simple endgame, and you're up a pawn there. Alright. The arse is black. The arse is black. What's this move order about? You're going to try to play the Benoni? This is your Benoni move order. We've got to be, Mr. Coffee, man. We got to be prepared for the Tory attack. It's just, think of it as the London with the bishop on g5. It's basically the same thing. Okay, one thing you could do is play h6 and transpose to a kind of harmless, it's a harmless Trompowsky, a toothless Trompowsky, like bishop f6, queen f6, e4, d6. This is actually quite solid for black. But that's not really considered to be the main continuation here. What is the main continuation here? c5. Normally black plays for the hedgehog type of thing. Yeah, c5. I mean, d5 is like a Queen's Gambit type of formation. In fact, could lead to transposing to the Queen's Gambit. If your repertoire is the Benoni, I'm not sure you want to do this, dude. b6 is interesting. This is very hyper modern. Raymond the Cat, not Raymond Key. b6 is my game against Naj Gabor. This is aggressive, You're allowing white to play e4, but you're gonna get the bishop pair again. Risky though. I wouldn't recommend playing that without experience. c5 is the move you should probably play. Objectively, Arsenal fan. It's a c5 setup anyway, and you're planning on playing the Benoni. I mean, I guess they'll usually play what, e3, and then the question is whether you're supposed to play h6 first or b6. I thought h6 was considered to be the most accurate move order, and then b6, and then we play a hedgehog with bishop e7, bishop e7, castles, d6, usually knight on bd7. We'll probably exchange pawns on d4 at some point. White should take back with the c pawn. I wouldn't go fishing with these other lines unless you really know what the hell you're doing. This is sharp. Don't play things like that unless you concretely know what the hell you're doing. So h6 is okay. h6 is okay, and then he can play two openings, right? The Tory or the Trompowsky. Bishop f6 transposes to a Trompowsky. After this, all right. Again, I think you should opt for a Benoni type of move with c5. There's also nothing wrong with b6, and b6 and c5 can transpose. You could play b6 first and c5 later, vice versa. I mean, basically he can't play e4 because you're going to play g5 and snipe his e-pawn. This, again, is a Trompowsky transposition, but not a particularly dangerous Trompowsky, because the most dangerous line of the Trompowsky is where white plays e4, queen d2, knight c3, and f4. Without the ability to play queen d2 and f4, because his knight is on f3, white can't play the most dangerous setup. So he just has a kind of mediocre Trompowsky, essentially. If you like the Grob, g5 is even better. Yeah, Mr. Coffee knows what he's talking about. Grobbing. If you like grobbing, not my necessarily cup of tea, but I do have weakness for the Grob. So this is more traditionalist. you know, there's a chance you could get a transposition to a Queen's Gambit, but, you know, that's unlikely with the average player, right? So the thing is, Arsenal also plays Queen's Gambit, right? Sort of solid Queen's Gambits. So, like, Bishop e7 here, you could keep your options open. I guess Bishop e7 is totally fine. Don't play g5. Bishop e7 is totally fine. I don't really like these d5 lines, but it's fine. c5 is okay, I guess. But I don't know if it's really best. Yeah, I guess I like this better. I'm going to play like b6 and bishop b7, and I don't know if I'm going to play c5. Maybe later. Dude, I wanted to keep the bishop on f8 for c5. That's funny. I lost to Darth McCartney, Balagimre, who was like 2600, in a rapid tournament a couple years ago, where he did something like that. I totally didn't expect him to take on c5. But to be honest, Arsenal fan, that's some seriously optimistic thinking. You know, if your fear is like he's going to take on c5, probably, that's the least of your worries, you know. You have a relatively passive position. I think if white, I was surprised when Balagimre did something like that. Okay, it was a slightly different position, but I remember being surprised when I got a move like this. You know, of course he's not going to do it here. Your point is that if you move the bishop, maybe he'll do it later. But honestly, I say don't even play c5 yet. Wait until later. Play this, play b6, castles b6, bishop b7, and control the e4 square with your nuclear radiation. You know, in one sense, I'm not really thrilled about h6 though. I think I might prefer not to have played that, but later, if you want to play like knight e4 and f6, you'll have some weaknesses. But this has got to be an okay move, c5. I mean, basically, it's like, are you threatening g5? Are you threatening g5 here? Damn, that's a move, homie. So is his move order like inaccurate? Is c3 bad? It's actually the most common move here. But maybe knight on bd2 is better. Knight on bd2 is better. c3 is kind of passive. Now what happens, see, if you play g5 or something, that's a little early. So now if you play knight c6, does white have better than c3? That's the question. c3. So how good is this g5? I see. So this is some crazy shit, man. Kamsky. It's like a Kamsky London now. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to be well prepared. It's the reverse Slav. I guess you have to be pretty well prepared here. A sort of reverse Slav. I still say it's like much safer to not play c5. Just play like bishop e7, knight on bd2, like b6 or something, or castles and b6, castles, bishop d3, b6. You're gonna get like 9-year-old kids who are gonna throw their g-pawn at you, I guess. Like go nuts or something. Or Karyakin. But I like this just being able to go here, you know. Screw him. I mean, you can just stick your knight on e4 at any point, you know, you need to. But you have the control of e4. I think it's fine. I like this. Oh shit, the computer wants to play rook g1. Oh shit, g4 is number 1. For a second, g4. G4. 9-year-old Sri Lankan championship move. Yeah, that's never been played. That could get a little scary. So, alright, we'll go with your variation. c5, and then nice to see c3 though. See, he doesn't have to play c3. This is probably better. You know, so a lot of people are going to get tempted into shit like queen b6, and that can be dangerous for black. I imagine white could sacrifice this pawn, or do something sharp like c4. They're hoping you'll do something stupid like queen b6. So here is passive and committal. Interestingly, black has a very good score here with knight on bd7, but I don't know what the exact plan is. I see they're putting the bishop on d6. It's not dangerous for white, but and then he played this. Right, I've seen traps in these type of positions where white like wins a piece and stuff. You know, I like not castling for you. But I have played positions like this where I got screwed on this diagonal. You've got to watch out, and you don't want to put your bishop on d7 if you don't have to. But this is crazy. No one has ever played queen a4 before. Yeah, this is Arsenal's game. I don't want to do this, but I'll do it if I have to. Yeah, I guess there's no problem. Can you trap his queen or something if he takes your knight? This would be like a funny variation. Rook takes, you know, bishop here. But, no, just kidding. That doesn't work. Alright, bishop d7, and then this. So this is why queen a4 is bad. You basically solved the mystery. You induced your opponent. Well, I mean, you know, bishop b7 is probably a good square, again, to control the e4 square. But Arsenal managed to induce his opponent to trade off his own good bishop. It's pretty funny. Bishop b5, hey, I'm going to trade off my own good bishop. So now knight b8. White's going to have to play it like a... You know, it's basically a Cambridge Springs Queen's Gambit, almost. Okay, he can play this position dynamically, I'm sure. He has to try to find a way to change the pawn structure so he doesn't just get stuck with like you having the better bishop and he doesn't have good control of the light squares and stuff. Knight e5. Wow. Okay, can we hold c6? I mean, I'm not going to cheat and look at the engine, but what about queen c8? Obviously, this could get sharp. If our queen opens up on the c file. I mean, this is a better move, right? But I mean, we're walking into bishop g3. Now bishop d6. Now we have to trade our our good b for his bad b, but it still seems solid for you. You get stuff like this, maybe c4. He'll try to play positionally, but I don't think it looks convincing. I don't see anything special. So I'm very curious what the engine's going to say. I like this exchange, but it looks slow. I don't really like knight e5 for us. I guess it's okay, though. I'm just curious if we had better. How's queen c8? Damn, queen d1. Queen c8, queen d1. Queen d8, queen a4. No. Queen c8 apparently allows him to like fix his position, and he goes back to e2, like Magnus Carlsen. So knight b8 is best. Okay, here. Trade, there. Take. And this is where Anatoly Karpov. That's Boston. Anatoly Karpov would play king takes e7. I'm just kidding. Anatoly Karpov versus Kamsky. I would love if he would trade queens. You know, it's like, please trade queens, and we're in business. But that's optimistic thinking. That's hope chess right there. You know, we got to take with the queen. And now we wish we hadn't played h6. It's not so bad though. You can take on e5. Alright. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like white's a little better. White's still a little better. What about a6? What's going on with a6 here? I want to look at forcing variations. a6. Oh, you didn't play it. You played c takes d first. It's a huge difference. I don't want to play c takes d. I want to play it without c takes d. There's a big difference. We got to kick him out, and then I thought maybe we could take here. This, I don't know if this is going to work. It's just an idea. And then play here and then f6. It looks, yeah, it looks a little shaky. We can prep it with like knight d7 or something. Possibly this. But white does look a little bit better. I wouldn't want to be black here against Kamsky. White has a tiny edge. If only I could take back h6, you know, it would be great. This helps him. It helps him. It improves his pawn. You're trading a good pawn for a shitty pawn. Although you are trading toward the center, you're trading a powerful c5 pawn for this lame e3 pawn, and you half open file him here. You give him a good half open file. Your minority attack is slow. This is like a typical exchange that people make, I think, without like really thinking it through. I'm not sure there's any benefit in this exchange for you. He has to take with a c pawn. What do you mean he has to take with a c pawn? Why does he have to take with a c pawn? Why? He can take with the c pawn, and I would like vomit on the board if he did that, because it's like very sterile. Another reason not to exchange. I don't like either way. This is boring, and the other way might be good for white. You need to keep the tension or do something like a6. Because taking with the e-pawn, he loses any chances for the f-file attack? Well, I mean, I don't know. I think this is like almost a technical position. I don't know. Wow, queen e8 and a6. The engine agrees that white has a tiny edge. a6 is the best move, then take. The question is how to follow up. Wow, he wants to take with the d-pawn. Wow, that's weird. That is possible. I would have expected f takes to open that file. This seems okay. I was wondering about this. It's like a French. It's pretty equal. White has a tiny space advantage. Alright, I don't like this exchange. He has the upper hand on the king side. I actually expected him to play here to pressure you here. You have a little minority attack, but it's slow. And your knight is like nowhere near the vicinity of the game. You know, Arsenal, it's a pity you can't play like f5 or something. That is a problem. I don't know how much longer you can stand this. Takes. Yeah, this is a major moment. I mean, white really needs to consider taking with the f-pawn. I don't think he has like a legit attack, but it could kind of slowly come about. Karpov. We need Karpov. Karpark. A rook a7. I mean, if we don't play f6, how are we going to like break out? How fast is our queenside play? Maybe we can hold with the minority attack and distract him. But I think he waited far too long to do this. You know, b5 is kind of slow. So knight takes knight, pawn takes, something like knight d7. Yeah, that's not as good. Yeah, it's such a pity you can't play this. The g6 like wins the exchange. Yeah, I don't really have a great answer. It looks unpleasant. But I think this is really lucky that he took the rook, because after rook takes, you're okay. You should be okay now. I wouldn't think there's much winning chances. This is still very dangerous. f5. First order of business is to avoid threats by white. Maybe you play f5 yourself. We have to seriously calculate this, man. Preventative like craziness. You gotta seriously consider f5, because if you can play knight f6 and knight e4, you're fine. The most obvious objection, of course, is doubling up, and I think it's a problem. Even if we can protect once, we're going to get hit tripled. And I don't see how we can protect. This is just too awkward. Yeah, it's awkward. And now f5's coming at someone. We've got to constantly be ready for this. And what are we going to do? You're a French player, so maybe you can deal with it. a3. That's not a bad move. I would say after queen d6, you're actually threatening to play f5. And this practically prevents it. Now the point is, if f5, you just double. It almost looks like you're inducing f5. So if you play f5, hold on a second here. This is a different situation, bro. If you play f5 now, you gotta consider the possibility you could take this. I don't know how good this is, but it looks plausible. Plausible. The other possibility is just using your king, using your noggin. Then there's this happy check over here. A little awkward. Just a bit outside. This is a bit awkward. I don't know. Enough awkwardness to give me doubt. But I would seriously, very seriously consider it. Yeah, you're just not quite getting away with it, man. Queen f4 leaves him a little better. King f7 just doesn't quite work. Oof, this is close. Alright. So, oh my god, I'm sorry. This is a long game. I'm going to have to speed up here. Alright. I'm going to have to speed up here. This is just too long, dude. It's an epic game. So, alright. So, rook e7, knight f3. And then he's got a fork trick here. So this is already now he's like sacking his f-pawn for tactics, which looks sound. Yeah, this is a pain in the butt, man. Yeah, this is not happy. But you got your knight to e4. And then f5. Takes. Alright, you made progress. Although your pawn structure is slightly worse. You could always sack the exchange if worse comes to worse. You expected him to sack the exchange. I mean, you've got to consider sacking the exchange. It's not absurd. It would not be absurd to sack the exchange here. If you feel like going to casino. What about f6? This move looks a little bit weird, to be honest. I don't know about placing your queen on e6. So that's where you set up some sort of tactic. This is where you set up the tactic. Ah, right. So if he plays rook e1, we have like 8-card Monty. I can't believe you moved your knight away, dude. You have to like make a waiting move here. There is no waiting move. It's so sick, you know? That's so sick. You could play king f8, and then he goes rook e1. And then you take a picture of the board and send it to the Guinness Book of World Records. That's just ridiculous. Alright. Well, f6 is a normal plan. Right, so we had the f6, knight g6, knight takes e3 tactic. We went over this last time. It's cute. It's cute. It's really nice. But let's go on. So instead of that, you didn't pull the trigger. You played knight d6. scary. He doesn't want to trade queens. Yeah, actually, even though, like, he has the better structure, this is a major target over here, and you're threatening to come through, and your rook is active. So I don't think he should trade queens. Yeah, I mean, you're active, and it offsets your structural weakness. Yeah, I don't know. You have to just stay as active as you can here and try to pursue the minority attack. Yeah, I guess you were low on time. It was a puzzle we recently saw on the stream. It was from Arsenal's game. Yep. Yep, it was. Very good. Good memory. Your memory is almost as long as Acerbate's ear hairs. Alright, knight d6 now. The withdrawal method. I'd be a little scared about like a knight endgame here, man. I like your position where it's like dynamic, but if we start trading down into some kind of knight ending where you have an isolated d-pawn, it could get dicey. That's a nice little move. Queen ending's okay, but not a knight ending. Black's nice and active here. See, I said not a knight ending. What did I say? What's the first thing Sladgie said? Not a knight ending. The fact of the matter is, like, you might be okay. But I don't really want to have to worry about calculating it, man. His king is open, and your queen and knight are active. And I don't know about this knight ending. I mean, the problem is your structure. You know, I don't love that isolated pawn there. But, I mean, look at this king. You know, what if you, like, throw your queen out here or something? The heck is going on? Are you sure? You're not just, like, better here? Dude, what's going on? You're getting in his position. Isn't he, like, in some trouble? There's like this. No, you're forking him with 92. He probably has some kind of move. He could play like the very strange Queen G3. No, I'm not sure his king has any business on F1, bro. You know, I don't think I'm playing... I guess I understand why I played King F1, but I'm not happy about it. Maybe he should play like H3 and have a second... Yeah, he has to protect that pawn, though. Damn. Wow, this is really nasty, bro. I don't see what white does here. What's he gonna play? Queen G3? I mean, seriously, you're all up in his face, man. This looks really strong. Yeah, I mean, okay, you were like slightly worse for most of the game, so much of the game. And now you have to be very careful. Now he takes B2. You broke the base of his pawn chain. Shit. He still, you know, has slightly better structure there with the Isolani. I guess it's a draw. It's very simplified now. Wow, what is this knight doing on h5? They're a tiny bit better with the king space. But either side should win here. Oh my god. Nice knight. It's like my game with Kovacevic. What about knight here? Shit. Do you have anything? Knight e4. Whoa. Now it's got to be a draw. Yeah, that was an eventful game. Fun. Alright. Yeah, I mean, you handicap yourself a little bit in the opening there. I think everybody struggles with the Tory attack in the beginning. What about c4, b4? Asterbait has a game with c4, b4. Speaking of Asterbait. Asterbait, check this out. Asterbait with c4, knight f6, b4. I want you guys to guess what Asterbait played here. See, you would. You're like a you're like a pre-teen in terms of optimism. Arsenal fan. What would Asterbait play? This is sick, bro. Asterbait versus the English orangutan. No, it's not as bad as b5. He played c5. This is actually kind of brilliant in a weird way. He thought it was the Benoni. He's like, wait, it's the Benoni. What do you mean? It's not the Benoni? So white plays, understandably, pawn takes pawn. Yeah, b5 is another approach. Okay, but this is critical. So black has to play e5, but Asterbait played this. And after d4, white has like a clear advantage. Anyway, that's not the game in question. I just wanted to share that with everybody. What's up? Guys, we're off next week. We're off all next week. Not off, but I'm moving. It's not like I'm off for vacation. I'm off waiting for the internet guy, the cable guy, to come and set up the internet in my new apartment. We're going to be streaming Friday and Sunday, but then Monday through Saturday till whenever. So the point is, you guys, this is your last chance. Today and tomorrow and Sunday are your last chances to donate and start a hype train. This week and this month, you know, slowly this month is almost over. So I would appreciate anyone who enjoys my enlightening commentary and streams. Please come forth. Come forth. Mr. Coffee still here? C5. Yeah, you're black. Knight F3. Whoa, sorry, I spoiled. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Alright, E4, C5. Mr. Coffee and Move 11 also, good luck in the US Amateur Championship. Knight F3, G6, D4. Capture, Bishop G7. Wow. A new move. The Assermate Foundation. I was hoping to start a new charity of some kind. So I can give myself a good job. That's funny, I've never seen anyone play this move. But I also I'm a little bit having trouble coming up with a refutation. So let's ask the obvious question. Okay, here, check, here, takes, and black's probably going to lose that knight in the corner. But probably doesn't always work. Probably. We have a better refutation. Okay. I mean, you can just move the knight. Yeah, this is plausible, but I have mixed feelings about it. Right, do you want to sack the b-pawn? Can you sack the b-pawn? Check. It's unconvincing. Bishop F4 or something. This looks unconvincing. There's this. I mean, this happens in the Marazzi. It's like a Marazzi, except it's not. Very deep thoughts. Right. Exactly. But you know, the Marazzi's, it seems better for white somehow. We can go here though. Yeah, that makes sense. We chase him off, and then white has knight d4. So it looks like knight b5 is the simplest solution. b4? Whoa. You kidding me? Hikaru Nakamura in the house. Alright, we got this. I mean, by the way, like, black doesn't have to play queen a5. I could go back. No, that's bad. I have to go up there. Wait, what are we saying? a6, bishop e3, and now, actually, wait a minute. We have this. Oh shit. No, maybe we have a problem. A6 may not work. No, it looks like knight d5 is the problem. This is a serious problem. A6 isn't going to work here. Because it's not the Marazzi. This is a problem. This is probably the refutation. Yeah. Yeah. Damn, that's the move. Alright. Astrobate. Nice cheapo. But it doesn't work. Yeah, this is the refutation. It took us a while to find it. But I mean, the average player isn't going to find that. You're going to have to be at least like 1800. You might get lucky, but yeah, you caught him napping. So he played this. This isn't as dangerous. So bishop takes c3 is sort of justified. But even this I'm not sure about. Because like objectively, what do? We have to play like d6. It's not a great Gingy Indian accelerated dragon here. I'd rather have my queen on d8 where it supports d5 actually. Yeah, queen d4 is a move. Among many. I think white is better. That's the best we could do though. I think you need to take this. I'm always like criticizing Asabe for not taking that. But after this, I mean, okay, we have a kind of weird situation. White should probably play this, and black has to go back. And now this knight on d5. Can eventually be traded off or kicked out, but I think white should be better. You could actually transpose to a Marazzi with c4. I doubt that's necessarily the best move, but it's possible. The engine just simply likes bishop e2 with a slight edge for white. Alright, Astrobate d6, bishop e3, and now you push the envelope even farther with queen b4. Sorry. So, where exactly can I move my queen? I've seen a lot of this lately where Astrabate's like trying to get his own queen trapped. Well, I mean, the jury's out over whether it's a good move or not. I would call it like a tricky move, but not necessarily a good one. No, Ivanov would take this. I remember I had this one game with Alex where he did like, basically like a queen fianchetto to grab a pawn. We had this insane game. But it's compensation. Maybe compensation for sacrificed pawn. I don't know. So white plays bishop d2, but that's probably not best. This is really lame. So what do you guys bet white's best move is here, according to the computer? Bishop d3 is very routine. I'm certain it's something special. I think I might like bishop d2 better. And now we have a wonderful position where white has compensation for the sacrificed pawn. You have three options. This is probably the safest. But black can also play f6 or e5. Queen d2 is interesting too. And yeah, you guys were talking about the other moves. Of course. But I mean, I would go for this. What are you going to do? B takes and give me this? Or are you going to force the trade of queens? I feel like black's okay here. The interesting suggestion of, what was it? Queen d3. Protects e4. And bishop d3. Bishop d3 is standard. Bishop d3. Alright, what does the engine say? Knight d4, which we totally didn't consider. And then it changes its mind. Queen d3 was second, bishop d2 was first. Oh my god. That was analysis. Okay, so this is the best move. Takes, takes, check. What about bishop e2? Uh-oh. My name's Eric Karkman. Alright, queen takes, bishop f3. And we lose material. Somebody missed bishop e2. And that would leave the queen out there, you know. The queen is out there. The truth is out there, Acerbate, and your queen doesn't like the truth. Damn. Yeah, that was it. He missed it. You're out of the woods now. On the loose. Like Bigfoot. Unfortunately, e5 is just too risky. That's a kind of poor move. Acerbate can now get out with knight d5. No, this guy has to cash in now. But bishop e5 was a waste of time, probably. He ought to just take right away, and this weak pawn is so bad that white is like equal. Almost. Almost. Again, he has another chance to take on f6. How can you not take on f6 here? You're going to give black another chance to play knight d5? Yeah, now I'm not sure that white has full compensation for the sacrificed pawn anymore. Nice bishops, yeah. I guess maybe he has enough. Yeah, I don't think you should be playing b5. I don't know. Okay, it's reasonable. b5. Yeah, bishop c4. Maybe. a3 is the first move I didn't like at all from this. I don't know what I want him to play. Maybe b3 is better. Objectively. Yeah. But I don't get it why he won't, like, you know, just try to draw. He was insistent on that, and now it's too late. Bam. Acerbate, trade the bishop off when you're facing the bishop pair. You have e6 here. You're like winning. You have the masterpiece on d5. Yeah, bishop f1, g3, bishop d2. Definitely, definitely. White doesn't want to trade a bishop pair off. Asterbate refuses to trade bishops. And then White's like insisting on it. Oh, yeah, look at this knight, my god. This is an interesting moment, but maybe e5 isn't a good idea, because White can open it up later with d4. The can of worms, Asterbate. You should just penetrate on the 7th here. You give him e5, you give him like a future d4. If you don't give him, if you don't play e5, he can't trade off his stupid d pawn. You should just play rook c2. Although I don't know where I want him to put his bishop. Objectively, maybe e5 is better than I thought. He might not have any time to do what he needs to do here. Obviously black is winning either way. That's horrible. Beautiful game by Asterbate, man. Look at his ability when he really channels it. What a beautiful position. Look at that aesthetic. King here. Total domination of the bad bishop on c1. Nice job, man. Active king. Now he's like paranoid. The paranoia starts to kick in. This is where you drop the mushrooms. I mean, I guess he could theoretically play like f4. But even then it's hard to see White getting counterplay. Maybe d7 is actually better than f6. But I was thinking a5 grab space, maybe even push here. Come on, man. You're ruining the game. This is a great game. What is your king doing? You're playing h6. Okay, he has a plan. But the problem is, you can't do both. Oh, White's just hanging f2. Oh my god. Okay, king h3 is absurd. His opponent just played an absurd move. I mean, king h3. But he has a tough position. He probably has to move his king back and forth. You missed rook takes f2. Too easy. You got a beautiful, beautiful position here. Now you got the knight and rook mate. Wow, this is just brutal. You played f4. He has like, there was like leaks in the position, man. He can get out now. You're letting him out. See? He's creeping out in the gutter. How are you going to checkmate him on a white square? He's going to let you mate him? How is he getting checkmated here? g5, g4? He takes his rook off the f-file. Yeah, I mean, White doesn't really have a move. b3 is probably his best move, objectively. Wow. And White just, like, didn't want to continue the suffering any longer. So he got mated. Alright, man. Next game, it says, hey, good job. That was a nice game, even though the opening was crazy. The Asterbate variation of the Accelerated Dragon. You have to know knight b5. Says man. I am submitting this game for analysis. Cooking Geeks. Oh, now you made me... Is Cooking Rooks here? Why did you say Cooking Geeks? Cracking Rocks. I was gonna create like a Smurf account called Cracking Rocks and have it like come online whenever like Cooking Rooks came by and see if he was make him like real paranoid, like someone's out to get him. Like what is the chances you have a handle named Cooking Rooks and someone comes by with the name Cracking Rocks? Coincidence? I don't think so. Alright. This is Tezakeman. He says, let's talk about Evan's Gambit. Ugh. I had a game yesterday in an Evan's Gambit with Black where I played, this was interesting, I played Bishop A5. My opponent played D4. I played D6. And then he did something that I've faced a couple of times now. This anonymous player they're supposed to play like Queen B3, and sometimes you get castles, but he just did like pawn takes pawn right away. Bishop A5 is best, I think, but you know, other people play the other variations. I think traditionally it was Bishop E7 or Bishop A5, but even like Bishop D6 is a move, Bishop C5 is a move. Even Bishop F8 was played in a couple games. There's a guy you can actually play Bishop F8, and White has only a tiny advantage. I looked at it last night, literally. Can you imagine how insulting it would be for someone to like accept your just for fun, like accept the gambit and play Bishop F8? That would be really dissing the Evans Gambit player. Dude, whatever. Alright. But this funny thing happened yesterday where he took and I played a novelty here. I couldn't remember, like Bishop G4 was the move. So I played this. And I thought, oh shit. I must have totally screwed up. But it's actually not that bad. With the engine, I looked at it. Okay, it's equal. Black's supposed to play Bishop G4. I just never ever played the Evans Gambit and I can't remember. I'm always like afraid of this. Queen B3. Look at this variation. Bishop takes F3, Bishop takes F7 check, King F8, G takes F, Knight takes E5, Bishop C4, Knight takes F3 check. This is just like, I need another shot of vodka before I play this position for either side. It's what is going on here, you know? It's totally insane. That's why I just did Bishop B6, because it's the second best move. Oh, look. Look, look, look. It's actually the second best move. You know what? I think that somewhere deep down, I seen it already. And it was like subconsciously imprinted on my memory. So if you don't want to go into the insane complications of Bishop B6, let me see my Sparkle Horse. No, look, I didn't play it. I played D takes E5 several times. And this is the first time I played it, Bishop B6. Anyway, this has nothing to do with Tezake's game. Just wanted to mention it since I just happened to be looking at it exactly last night. Ironically, believe it or not, like C5 is actually played by people. I know this seems absurd and crazy, but I was seriously looking at this last night. I was like, dude, Rachel Dolezal. You guys remember that? The woman the woman who was like head of the chapter of the NAACP who wasn't black, or just like pretending to be black? Rachel Dolezal. She played like Bishop F8 twice. But that is if you really want to humiliate the Evans Gambit player, I say you play Bishop F8, you're like, that pawn was delicious. and then you play like d6. Yeah, it's weird. So bishop c5, I don't know, somewhere I saw something about this where it's like not as bad as, yeah, it's not as bad as they thought it is, you know. It's not as stupid as it looks. Gergo Antal is the #1 game. Player who I have played. But look how few games there are. A Nogueira's game from 1978. Jesus Christ. Okay, people don't play bishop c5. Hasan Duraglu, back in 2001, before he was a GM. There's a game with a Spanish GM. Some other randoms. Rogic. No, I mean, I get it, Arsenal. Okay, how do we do this? Do we take, or do we drop back? Like, theoretically, it looks like bishop e6 could be a move as well. It's like a bad England gambit or something. I wouldn't be surprised if this was playable. Wow. Oh, this is Kogan Anand. Oh my god. That's weird. Oh, it transposes from like bishop a5, right? So if you play bishop a5 and White plays d4 and you play bishop e6, that's how this is reached. It's coming to the b6 square from a different square. Anand didn't play bishop c5. He played bishop a5 and then bishop e6. Right. So even that's not bad. So you got bishop c5 and then the greedy take. Now what would Morphy do? I'm just going to turn off the engine here for a second. Takes is nice, Arsenal, and I know how much you like bishop e4. But objectively, maybe White should castle or just do something sharper. This is where you really, if you're going to play the Evans Gambit, you should probably go all in, you know? And just totally dial up the aggression. I also think that if you do c takes d, then maybe we play king f1, right? If c takes d, bishop e4 check, king f1. Exactly. So check this out. So this guy's a good Ukrainian grandmaster, Solodovnichenko. That's at least one really strong player who's played this with White. I think if you do allow this, you have to go, you know, postal with king f1. We're not here to trade pieces at this point. We sacked, you know, we sacked a pawn. We're all in. But this is even more all in. And now, like, you know, Morphy's opponent would do like d3 or something. And Rabiega Hazandraglu. World Junior Championship 2001. No, I don't think so. But I played Hazandraglu. I don't even remember like our game. It was a draw. I think that's an awesome name. I love Tezek. I love the Turkish names. And like there's these weird connections with Hungarian. Haz. We have a little bit of linguistic influence from the Turkish occupation. Thank you very much. Thanks for leaving some words with us. All right. Terence. So Tezek castled. Yeah. What about like d5 or something crazy? You can't do that too much. Yeah, now black, black can't just let you take here with impunity. So you could play knight f6. Knight f6 is dangerous. Getting out of bed is dangerous. Parking your car is dangerous. Crossing the street is dangerous. The list goes on and on. I was thinking like here. There's so many possibilities. Let's just see what happened. So black takes another pawn. I'm not sure knight f6 should be responded with e5. It's not the only move. It's one. There might be others. I would say, like, honestly, if they play like knight f6, you should also consider taking and then like playing bishop g5. Like this has to be a possibility. I mean, I guess the problem is here. This might be not that clear. Something like rook g8. This is a totally standard position. It's equal. Approximately equal, no. Absolutely standard everyday sort of position. No, he has bishop e7, wow. This doesn't work at all. So on g5 you have to play bishop g3. But okay, this is interesting as well. It looks like e5. I thought like d5 would be playable, but it's not. This is what happened in this game. So it's really bad. It's just overwhelming. This is not the Max Lang. It just, it just plays a Max Lang on television. Apparently. Any relation to the Max Lang is purely incidental. So apparently black has to play d6. Okay. That makes sense. So this completely makes sense. But then it's like, you might as well have just played bishop e6, right? I mean, if black's just going to play d6, then he might as well have just gone bishop e6 in the first place. So your opponent took here, and now this guy did bishop takes a7 check. That seems kind of insane, but yeah, alright. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't call it insane. What about f8? I would play what he played. I'm having what he's having. This is obviously good for white, but we want to try to find, like, what's the best defense. I mean, objectively, here, I think the king is, like, it's somehow, I don't know, not quite as vulnerable. Check d6. Queen takes c3. I don't really like it on e8. If I have a choice between e8 and f8, I would prefer f8. I mean, there's absolutely no question that white has tremendous position for the sacrificed pawn. And I would prefer white here any day. But it's not game over. It's +1 for white. So it's kind of counterintuitive, He didn't go to f8 because, like, when you take the bishop, it's check. But objectively, it's probably a better square for his king. He went here. Now you take. It's not like he can castle or something. So it doesn't really matter. Like, what's he gonna do? Maybe he's gonna go to d7. Maybe there's like he can sneak away or something. There's another problem. I mean, this might be weak. The king protects the g7 pawn. Oh, you took with a knight. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is really important. What this guy did is probably best. King f8, queen takes c5, d6. And now you have to take with the queen. But I don't know what, like, black's best defense is here. I'm not certain about queen f6. It might be good. What happened? White played what? Wow. He allowed a trade of queens. Dude, I'm in there. I mean, yeah, white has total compensation. But at least we get the queens off the board. Whew. There's a small chance of survival. Yeah, it's hard to blame the guy for trading queens, but maybe this is objectively not so good. Alright, anyway. Now white develops more smoothly, taking with the knight. Yeah, well, we do want to avoid queen trades. Zek played this move, and his opponent was like, He was trying to castle, but it wouldn't let him, and he didn't understand why. He's like, I put my king back on e8. We've all done this at some point, right? We're trying to castle. We don't understand why it's not letting us castle. We forgot that we moved our king. I don't know where you should put your queen. Up close and personal. That's the Acerbate favorite. He doesn't like queen g5. But it's not easy to see a better move. What does it want to do? Like queen c4? Here? We're going to get hit by bishop e6 later. Computers love those squares. They just love it. The quad, you know, this sort of like... I think the engines have revolutionized chess with these queen moves to the fourth quadrant. Queen c4 is like a secret move. I looked at b5 first. But this is just better than b5. Of course e3 is a move. It doesn't really do anything. I don't have a problem with your move, honestly. No, I don't think anything's wrong with queen g5. You can pop back here. Then you have possibilities of like bishop g5. Your queen has lots of squares. He plays d6. And I had this sudden feeling like black was playing the Black Mardimer or something. It's weird. Okay, you can't play knight d5, and you can't really afford to trade queens is the problem here. I also would have played rook e1. But is it possible your opponent has some solid defense, like knight e5 or something? I like Arsenal fan like talking about bishop a3. The dark squares is the secret here. Maybe we even have e5. Can we open up our minds a little bit? Let's take it to the next level, man. Do the impossible, bro. I mean, this guy is... After Ponting's pawn, he's literally, like, sitting in the middle of a minefield. I guess he can possibly get away with, like, putting his king on f7. Yeah, I mean, there's so many dangers for black here. I honestly thought he's safer taking with the knight, probably. And literally trying to get away with something crazy like this. But it's... I don't know, man. Wow, it's like dead equal. Queen takes g7 0.0. Of course. But e5 is very interesting. You know, this would pose your opponent a lot of trouble in a practical game. After rook e1, he can try this. I would certainly like be very focused on preventing e5. This is covered. You may not get another chance to play e5. That's the thing. He can try to strong point that. Well, I mean, sometimes a little information is very dangerous. I agree, Teze. But you have to you have to learn and learn from your experiences and losses. It's good, the good thing is like chess is not hang gliding, If you crash, you can just like do it again and you're not dead. It's not like mountain climbing or something where like fucking up is fatal. So don't be afraid to like experiment and get crushed. Yeah, I felt like Queen H4 was your place to go. This feels kind of out of play, but alright. It's not bad. He's still trying. Now he's trying to castle queenside, but it keeps like not letting him. Now you played e5. Whoa. Nice one. Just in time. Very nice. No. I mean, this is like a very, very good move. Yeah. H6 was a mistake. But objectively, what can he do? He prays to the god of the light squares or something and plays king f7, I would say. What would you do if you were black? I say we put our king on a light square and pray to the Kraken. Or something like that. I mean, obviously this is still very dangerous. We can't take it, or we lose a piece. No, wait, we can take it. Because we can play here, and then take, and pray to the Kraken that we can survive. The more trades, the better. The more black has a slight chance of surviving. But after this, it looks problematic. You're just opening it up again. I honestly want this to work. I mean, I don't know if you seriously consider this. It's probably too much, right? It's too much. Sadly. I think it's too much. But, we have to look at all the forcing possibilities. A4 is really tempting, right? And it might be good. But on the other hand, we don't want to let him trade. There's no time. So this is probably forced this or some other knight move like knight h4. This will give him counterplay. Yeah, I agree with this. But I don't want to trade queens under any circumstances. Like, you could trade queens here and go into an ending a pawn down, but I don't want to do that. I mean, okay, this is probably dropping this anyway, but whatever, you get the point. Queen e3 or something, you could play this, but don't do that. Yeah, this is good. Opposite bishops, but the only thing is now his king is safe on the open line. It's not going to save him. You have all pieces working. Beautiful move here, e6 check, by the way. I would be very surprised if that doesn't work. That's kind of intuitive sacrifice. I don't think that Tal would like calculate until after he played this move. That's where really good attacking players, their intuition is so good that you know, they play the move first and then calculate after. Are you just winning a piece here? Or you're just winning a piece? Well, that's kind of a... He has knight f6. He has knight f6, queen c3. Pawn takes pawn, queen c3. Yeah, and I don't think black's going to be around long. Alright, good game. Cute finish. Check, king h7, knight e4. Your rook's hanging, so you just sacked your bishop. And that's as good as anything. Nice game. With a beautiful mate threatened. By the way. If he doesn't take it. That's really elegant. Nice game. Alright, got some nice games today. I got Miro, Sense Take, and Move 11. Guys, let's get some support from the viewers. If you can, throw me some donations in the tip box. Classy Chess from Tezek, Asterbait. I liked Arsenal and ABC games, but these last two were really elegant. Alright, hey, it's Miro. I forced him to submit a game we didn't get to today. So he's playing black. Against the Uber driver attack. The Uber driver attack with d takes c5. What is Uber driver thinking? d4, knight f6, knight f3, c5. You're welcome, Tizek. Thank you for being a subscriber. Subscribership has its privileges. It's hard to be elegant. Well, it's hard to be elegant when you're not playing an online blitz game. But some people particularly play for the gallery arse. You know, there's different reasons why people play chess. I think you're a good competitor, and your main focus is on winning, and you're practical. But there are those of us, and I'm not really one of them usually, who play, you know, for the artistic side of the game. You and I appreciate the artistic side of the game, but I don't think it's not our primary focus. Very nice finish by Tezek. Now this move, speaking of bishop takes f5 or c5. I mean, if you play like certain openings, why are we playing this? I'm interested in the Queen's Gambit Accepted, for example, before we get into this game with Miro. When we play the Queen's Gambit Accepted, we're taking this pawn to get an open game, and then we're going to play as aggressively as possible to counterattack the opponent's center. It's hypermodernism in a sort of roundabout way. But when we think about like white, c5, and now taking. White's best moves in this position are d5, taking the space advantage in the center. Probably e3, just maintaining his position and intending to continue with like c4, a la e3 poison. Or the uber lame c3, or c4, obviously. c4 is like the third best move. But this move is something else. Not terrible, but a waste of the white pieces, I would say. Giving away the white giving away the advantage of the first move. You're basically playing black now, giving away your center. So I ask you, what's the point of like, establishing a central pawn if you're just going to trade it off? Why does black do it in the Queen's Gambit, by the way? Why does black play the Queen's Gambit accepted? Because he's materially greedy? Why do beginners take d takes c4? Because they're just materialistic and they don't know better. But realistically, why do grandmasters play the the accepted Queen's Gambit, right? We established a central pawn and then we trade it off. It seems counterintuitive. We're going to open the position, and maybe we're a tactically minded player who likes open positions better. We're going to attack the enemy's center. But we're black. We're at a disadvantage to begin with. So we're basically like creating a counter-attacking kind of situation rather than a solid, stodgy defense of the strong point on d5, like Arsenal might do, or GSM, GM A B C D E F G. But my problem is like when it's white doing it, this just seems really weak. You're like being black voluntarily with white. I don't really see, Rubinstein used to do it sometimes. We would see like e3, d5, maybe here. It's basically the same thing. It's just playing the Queen's Gambit with reverse colors. Okay, e6, best move. Occasionally you see people play knight a6, or the beginner mistake, queen a5 is always bad. I think it's a safe rule, Queen a5, queen a4, it's almost always bad. Just don't do it. This will get the knight off sides a little, and it's awkward. It's playable but awkward. So this is the most natural. How about e5? Sacrificing a pawn. Novelty. That's probably worth a spin in bullet chess. But I wouldn't recommend it. Like, honestly, I have bullet turned off in the Opening Explorer, but I wouldn't be surprised. So e6, now a3. Notice how white doesn't try to hang on to the pawn. It's a viable option, like bishop e3, b4, b4, a5, c3, pawn takes pawn, b6, and you have to give the pawn back. So now a4, pawn takes pawn, and like b5. Probably not that bad for white. But the basic idea is white gives up the center and then is going to counterattack the black center. Bishop takes c5, b4. Black doesn't even have a center yet, by the way. What do you guys think about this? Black doesn't even have a center to counterattack against. So that makes the situation kind of interesting. Is it better for white to play c4 or b4 here? Or none of the above? Or like e3? Or maybe something else? Right, white is playing black. White is playing the Queen's Gambit accepted. Objectively, you could play anything here. You could play like bishop f4. It's a London. Alright, so a3, bishop takes c5, b4. The bishop's coming to b2. But white has weakened the queen side a little bit with the extended fianchetto. And now, the nice thing about this is the early b4. If you wait, right, after bishop takes c5, if you were to wait and play e3 and I play d5, and you play b4. This is an option now that I didn't have otherwise. So you give black an extra option to place the bishop on d6 more aggressively than e7. Though I think that e7 is very solid for black. Bishop e2. Honestly, I'm not sure I like d5 the best here. It's very interesting that only 5 games we're looking at. Who played black? Komlyanovich. Strong. Alcoholic. Stronger than me in both chess and alcohol. Felgeyer, a very strong player with black. And then 3 other players I don't know. But it's interesting that none of them played d5. Nobody. But Miro played d5. Philosophical question. Why did neither Komlyanovich or Felgeyer play d5 here? Because they're not white? They like a more hyper-modern approach? Or they didn't want to create a target for the enemy to attack, maybe? Honestly, when you play d5, you're creating, you're being the ball, basically. You're creating a target, almost. So, anyway, I don't think this is a bad move, to be fair to Hey It's Miro. I think if they, well, maybe they don't want to close bishop. Okay, you're advocating a more hyper-modern style arsenal. Absolutely. Of course. This is a hyper-modern approach. You play it like a hedgehog. Just a5, real aggressive. But, I don't really like our bottled-up pieces here, personally. a5 is the most, dynamic option. But very classical move by black, d5. Okay. Perhaps it doesn't work as well with bishop e7. And then it's just like, what? Han Solo? Wait, hold on. The double fianchetto? Queen's Gambit accepted? I don't remember that variation. So my spider senses are like buzzing now. Wait a second. I have a strong pawn on d5 and you're not even going to make an effort to undermine it? You're just going to play g3 and bishop g2? Okay. Is there anything I can do about it? Maybe there's nothing I can do about it. You can play like here. I can plonk a knight into e4? No. I think just we have to play b6. But is it possible that white has trouble playing c4 later? Interesting. Now here, not to block the c file. I think normally what Arsenal is talking about, this is like a accepted setup for black, or white normally, c4, bishop e7. a5 is definitely a good idea coming up. Alright, bishop g2, knight on bd7, castles, and Hey It's Miro played a5 immediately. My personal opinion would be that b6 is the safest. If you want to be really crazy, you could play b5. Can we play the speckled hen? b5? Is it too much? Am I asking too much of life? To be like Keith Arkle with black? I want to clamp down, be the ball, make white the ball. Damn. It's looking good. Oh, but the engine wants to do a different thing. It wants to play knight b6. So this is the problem. Wow, knight b6, you could actually do knight b6. See, he has no He has no breaks. That's the problem with bishop g2. That's why white doesn't do a double fianchetto queen's gambit. Alright. a5 is still good. It doesn't change anything, really. And white just, like, hangs a pawn. Köszönöm. That's thank you in Hungarian. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Hey Smiro is such a nice guy, he didn't want the pawn. I want the pawn. Give me the goddamn pawn and give it to me now. Is it possible that our hero is an anti-materialist? The pawn must be taken. Because this is not merely winning a pawn. It's winning a pawn while attacking a rook, and it's destroying his pawn structure. He now has an isolated pawn at c2. This pawn must be captured unless there's a good reason not to take it, which there isn't. I mean, it's not like there's queen d4 or something like that. You have to take the pawn. He played this, and then, you know, this is a nice move, and there's nice little acerbate tricks. But I think, like, I really don't want to have to, like, fight to get this pawn back. You know, you have here an e3, and black is better, yeah, but black is not up a pawn. There's no concrete material advantage. It's a little bit vague or how we're going to win. So take the pawn. Sometimes you just have to be greedy. No, this pawn has to be captured. There's no justification for not taking that. See, now he does c3, and now it's nice, but it's not as easy, you know? e3, exactly. And I don't like our bishop. Now we have to win the game, like, with some sophisticated positional play. We could have just been up a pawn for nothing with an easily winning game. Okay, it's not an auto win, but it's clear advantage. This bishop needs to get into the game. It needs to get into the game sooner rather than later. So maybe queen c7. Try to focus here. But what I don't like about knight f6 is, like, we lose control with this square. But it's probably fine. It's probably fine. That doesn't really matter. He needs to play h3 to, like, keep us off of g4. Bishop d7 now. We're golden. Yeah, I mean, this is good. And f3, knight d6. Black's just winning. There's no counterplay. White's just, yeah. Okay, so this isn't so bad. Knight f6 isn't so bad. Here, here. This is unnecessary. Unnecessary roughness. How many yards is that in American football? Don't take risks when you don't need to. There are plenty of chances to play risky chess, but I think the first priority here is just win this winning position. Bishop d7, develop your pieces, get to the open file, or pressure here, and it's just game over. There's absolutely no reason to up the ante with e5. While it might be a good move, it seems complicated and unnecessary. Now our center is going to be, like, tricky to keep protected. Now our knight, not as stable. So we basically did the same thing. We're just, like, putting our bishop on there instead of d7. With the pawn structure like the Ivanov here, with that pawn structure, there's no counterplay against it. The pawns protect each other. See, this is annoying. Now my pawn's attacked, and I don't want to go here and create a hole in my position. And now e4. Yeah, this is complicated now. Now we have to attack. I don't mind bishop d7. Very nice. Very nice. Nothing fancy. He plays bishop g4, the provocative move. And I think if I'm white here, I'm honestly playing f3. I mean, for better or for worse. In sickness and in health, I'm going to play f3. I think we really have to. Although black is clearly better. Okay, he is threatening c4 possibly. That's a good point with queen b3. You know, if we can get in c4, suddenly, like, black is not necessarily winning. Like, how is black winning here? I mean, we're not even up any material. Yeah, this is just totally gone off the map. You got the focus. He's busting out. You're going to need tactics, or you're going to need a way to keep him constrained. But if we go back, I think, first of all, it would be best to just go here. And now, on something like queen b3, we have the time to, let's say, keep the pressure on. Just keep him constrained. Then b5, and black is just got him in a stranglehold. I mean, it's probably not winning, but, you know, we're clearly better. There is a problem here with rook a1. Although I'm sure Hayes-Mirror could sack his queen. Something like this. This is not a joke. For example, just for fun. Just for fun. We have compensation for the queen. Hayes-Mirror likes unclear positions, so he'll probably like this. Knight f5 is a bit weird. Ooh, that's ugly. But it's ugly either way for white. Yeah, he's hanging on to this pawn. So, white should have just played a different move. Take, c4. Maybe he has like rook b1 or something. I don't know. White must achieve c4. This isn't gonna work though. So knight f5 wasn't that bad. Pretty awkward looking. So we're gonna take b4 later. But we could have taken it before. See how hard black had to work to win this game because he didn't take that pawn? And bishop d7 after all. We're getting astrobate-like coordination now. Ooh. Bishop a3. Oh my god. Oh no. Does this work? Are you kidding me? Hayes-Mirror is like a madman. He's just a total madman. Now he's down a piece. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I have no idea what's going on. Bishop e4. And what? I wonder if he realized he could take this pawn. Black has enough compensation for the piece. But I have no idea if he's winning. You gotta take this pawn. It's almost like he just missed it. He must have missed it. I mean... Mate? Oh shit. What do you think, guys? Draw? Looks like a draw. It may be that black's actually better. With the 3 crazy pawns. And the bishop stuck. White should play g4 if they get the chance. White should play g4. Make sure these pawns stay frozen. Now we have d3. Oh man. d3 looks hard to deal with. 3-2, it's a draw. That's the difference between a win and a draw. I mean, objectively, d3. How is white... Is white really hanging on? You're telling me white can survive after d3? Is it really for real? I'm kind of not sure about this. I really doubt it. Wow, it's a draw. Holy shit. That's crazy. I can't believe white can hold on here. With those two pawns on the 6 like that. Jesus. It's incredible. It's still a draw. But after this, I mean, white should just take and draw. There's no reason to screw around here. I don't think that white has winning chances in this position. He has losing chances only. Wow. Does that work? That's a nice move. That holds. And then rook e7. Arte. But I mean, this might be safer. Rook e7 is safer. Like, I don't want to go in the king and pawn game unless I can calculate it out to make sure. With rook e7, it's definitely a draw. Well, I mean, I guess black and queen. But no, it's a draw. This is a draw. Okay. Crazy game. Typical Hayes Miro, you went too far. Alright. Snedsteg. Sneg. Oh, it's nice when it's on a 100-move game. It's so nice. Guys, alright. Manage your money. Move 11 is still up. Last. Where is everybody? This is Snedsteg. But we're white? We're white. Knight f3. What's up, Snedsteg? Snake. So you played b3. It's a move. It's a Larson opening. So you can still play a kind of English e3. You played d4. Wow, that's extreme. So black has a major decision to make. I would push. He does. And now the only alternative is to play knight g1. Yeah, no, I mean, d4 is kind of weird. It is funny that the main move here is d3. Wow. That's actually kind of surprising. I'm pretty surprised by that. Wow. Good evening, Mr. Blobix. Welcome, senor. It's pretty surprising d3, although we can get a fianchetto, double fianchetto Blabic system. Okay, I don't think like d4 is a terrible move. I just for fantasy wanted to look at this for a second. There's no way that we can get away with this, is there? Trying to do some crazy sort of stuff. It just loses a pawn. Wow. I didn't think it would be that bad. Alright. Yeah, so the kind of like classic sacrifice. If you have some guts, you play this, right? Black doesn't have guts. Why is this not good? Yeah, I mean this is like classic. Black doesn't have to do anything crazy, you know. I mean, I think just playing like d5 and keeping white bottled up. I'm not sure, Arsenal. As usual, you're exaggerating. No, it's not so easy. I mean, if knight g4, I have knight c4. Can I go here? No, you have queen h4 check. Maybe that is winning. Is it that bad? Maybe Arsenal's not exaggerating. No, I still think that we have defensive resources here. Okay, h3 was a really stupid suggestion. Yeah, it doesn't look great. One possibility is to play e4. This is probably pretty freaking important. Frigging important. No? I mean, that's why black would normally play d5. If I play e4, yeah, you go here, okay. Queen c1, now what? d5? But I don't see what d5 does at this point. At this juncture. It seems a little late for d5. We got everything here, man. I mean, there's nothing happening with bishop b4. Yeah. Pass me the bong, bro. I actually think something like this might be dangerous. I was wondering if there's any possibility of a King's Indian style thing. Knight f1. Yeah, if knight f1, white will take with the king. I think the honest truth is that it's freaking complicated. What's the engine say? It's freaking complicated. It doesn't like my d5 though. I thought d5 was fine. Wow. e4 pawn feeding back. Aha. And white equalizes. Yeah, Arsenal's right though. Knight g4 seems to be the best move. I think we have to play e4. Wow, queen g5. This is unclear. It's really rather interesting. It's enough, you know. It's a position only Pavel Blatny would love. Yeah. Amazing we can defend. Like knight f3, queen e3, queen d3. Triple exclam. And white hangs on after check king d2. Arsenal is right about knight g4, but he's wrong to call it a knight. It's very much a game. Still. Sorry. Alright. Yeah, don't do that again. I think you ought to not allow this to happen. Although, you know, I was surprised. It's so strong so quickly. Look at this score. White won 2 out of 3. I mean, Dude, Lawrence Day, an experienced international master, and then two other guys who are 2365 and 2286, and none of them played E3. Are you guys serious? Larry Day, back in 1995 when he wasn't that old, and then two other guys whose average rating is over 2300, and none of them played E3? Excuse me, are you kidding me? That's crazy. So that's 4 out of 4. Now E3. Alright, bishop D6. Obviously, you could go here, tempo down. You can still go here, tempo down. But normally we're going to play queen c2. It's practically a semi-Slav. It's basically become like a passive semi-Slav for white. Queen c2 and then h3, and maybe we can castle queenside. Funny that all three games were draws. Now instead of bishop e6, I don't know what to suggest. I think, rook e8 is like a standard move. Rook e8, knight d7 here. The problem is the knight. Where's the knight going? Are you going to play like knight a6, knight c7? Okay, this is another possibility. To come in here and c7. A6 is kind of a normal move. But the problem is now, do you have pawn takes pawn, knight b5? Probably nothing special, right? So bishop e6 looks reasonable. Like, what's wrong with bishop e6? Nothing. But I wouldn't castle here. You're making a mistake, I think, by castling. I could be wrong. And I've been known to get checkmated in 20 moves with white. But I think like you should stay flexible. Keep the options open to castle either side. Maybe queen c2. You could spike attack with g4. It's flexible. You're very funny, haha. G4 very flexible. Blavix is such a card, He just he comes here to spite me. That move looks stupid, nah? That's like loading yourself into a cannon. That's funny. You wrote it before I played it. Yeah, I mean here's a good suggestion. Okay, G4 isn't flexible, but it's definitely an option. This is totally a normal move. The fear is that black could get in like knight here, but he doesn't have time, right? Like take, and we win a pawn, and the center falls. You got him like pressured in the center. He can't leave the center. This is too committal. Even h5 is probably a dangerous move. c5, bishop takes h2 check. Oh my god. Well, yeah, it's Worst case scenario, black will sack his bishop on g3 and have compensation. But it's important to point this out, move 11. I want my king on like c2 here. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. So on queen c7, I mean f4 is not insane. This is really weak though. Are we gonna be able to keep that pawn protected? Double attack. Yeah, it feels like we needed another move. I don't like the direction this is taking. Queen c7 definitely seems strange. And he's going to have a hard time using that to attack you, so maybe we should just simply play h3. Is this stupid? Probably. Now he goes here. It does look scary as well. Maybe king h1? Instead of c5, king h1, bishop takes h2. Wonder how stupid this is. White is better. Holy shit. You have knight b5, move 11, you're a genius. Because we have knight b5. That's why they play a6. So I actually can't take the pawn. Oh god, I'm like a twisted genius. Yeah, better to play king h1. Black should have played a6. Queen c7 is a bad move. But you're panicking too much. And now you're in trouble. Now you're really in trouble. Yeah, sacrificing the exchange is the least of your problems. It feels like an Asterbait game. Asterbait, this is like inspiration for you. Suddenly the tides have turned. Titus. h6. g6. Well, what's wrong with h6? I like h6 better. I'm just gonna go on the record now. I don't know why. I have this weird, creepy feeling about g6. Maybe it's good. Oh my god. Check. That's why you never play bishop e2 and d4. This is pretty unbelievable. Now clearly, like, d5 is a major option. Wow. Yeah, this is like insane. Protecting g5 and then d5 check. Wow, that's brutal. Poor black. Oh, a mate. Queen h8 mate. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I didn't like queen c7. So after grabbing the exchange, he's lost. Wow. Yeah, he totally lost the initiative here. But I think this move is the wrong plan. You know, that's just so sort of superficial. You definitely shouldn't have done f4 though. He should play like a6. But after queen c7, I don't know. Maybe this is better. Alright, interesting game. Yeah, entertaining. And for more entertainment, our last... It's move 11 versus Nero the second. Nero the third? Nero 2. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We're going to be back tomorrow morning with Friday rapid challenges from 11 a.m. What is it? 11 a.m. 11:30. I can't even remember when I start anymore. All right, Thursdays is a long day. Move 11 playing white in an Aliakian defense. Guys, please support the stream and donate. We've got 5 gift subs from Move 11, 1 from Capcar, and Uber Driver with 500 bits this week. And it's already Thursday, so please don't hold back with those generous donations to keep your favorite chess streamer going. Knight f6, e5, knight d5, and then knight f3. Knight f3. That's a funny move order. This is interesting. Knight f3 right away. I mean, most commonly, like, people play d4, and then on d6 they play knight f3. Move 11 playing knight f3 first. So, there's a downside here. You're actually letting him play the Nimzovich variation of the Sicilian with c5. I guess other than that, you know, there's probably no real disadvantage. He can do the Vargasoli defense. Nothing special though, you know. It's hard to believe like knight b6 is a great move for black. Alright. So black played d6, we transpose, black played bishop g4, and now classical kind of mainline Aliakin, which is always felt like a struggle for black to me. But I never played this. Knight c6. I always, when I played black in these lines, played e6, but I'm not a big expert. I mean, e6 is the main line. You're completing, you know, the kingside development with bishop e7 coming up soon, and it's usually what you do after bishop g4. Getting the bishop outside the pawn chain and then playing e6. So this is usually, you know, a risky move that walks into some kind of c4 e6 trap. So exactly. Right. Well, I don't think it's h3, you know, just immediately e6. This is the question. Damian Lemos. Wow. All these great years of chess, really. Between like 2008 and 2015, where I really didn't play. It's weird. It's always weird when I see a game from like 2011 and think, man, I wasn't even playing chess much. E6, though, black can take only with the pawn. I mean, if we look up my games, no games. Wow. Okay, I don't play this. Yeah, I don't know why I'm surprised by it. Yeah. Why am I surprised when I don't play this with black? You know, if you see my games, we're not going to see, you know, So I have 14 games with e6 and 1 game with c6 from 2017. That was experimental. Repunge the Pro. Hey, whatever happened to Repunge the Pro? Alright. Karpov Lev Albert. That game's in the book, bro. That's like the model game. Alright. C4, knight b6, and then h3. Yeah, so what are we doing here? What did we do? Like, go off pissed? Yeah, what's the final analysis of this? E6. F takes e6. White is better, right? Pretty big advantage, bro. But that's crazy. Look at the engine. The engine's all about this. Playing novelties. Knight on bd2. This looks like... It looks like a French Guimard type of thing almost. Wow, Emil, the farmer, my good old friend, played knight d2, and he smashed some 2200. Knight f1 or knight b3 are both options going forward. Castles is the main line, but maybe Emil's onto something. I like this for white, though. This is definitely better than the line you played. Pawn takes pawn. E takes. And now we're playing some exchange variation with an early bishop g4. Is knight g5 a move? Maybe. I don't think so. Not with the knight on c6 repunch. You need the knight on c3. So you can like take back with a knight or something on e2. I don't think that knight g5 is a move around here. Like this type of position. Pedzik played it once. See, it doesn't make sense in this position. Because our d4 is weak. Yeah, that's crazy. Polish Championship, 1996. He played queen takes e2, sacrifice his pawn. That's insane. Wow. Yeah, not a good idea. But e6 looks good. I mean, if bishop takes e6, right? d5, win a piece. But it looks like Salancy has something here. That was the engine's move. Emil would analyze stuff pretty deeply, like on his own. So he has a lot of unique ideas. I respect his analysis in the lines he knows. He's pretty good. This makes some sense. No, this isn't. He's an IM. He was like max 2455 or something. But a solid IM. Now he's old. He's like 70. And only playing in the Hungarian seniors. Lost all of his rating points. Alright, h3 seems weird. Yeah. I don't know what you're going to do here. I thought you were going to play like d5 or something. Bishop takes c6 looks bad. Wow. This is like the picture of overextension. I'm actually really surprised how move 11 got such a bad position. I mean, he's faced the Aliakin before. Not in a tournament game, right? It's horrible. No, but h3 is your problem. Black plays. Yeah, your pawn is just fragile. He's undermining your center and you just ignored him, basically. Just not an option. This is a weird move I have encountered once in a while. I guess you could play that. I never know what to do with, like, if I were black here. I wouldn't know whether to take. I've had things like this happen in similar positions. Alright, now you know. Anyway, I don't like knight c6 though. I mean, e6 is the proper variation. And c6 is playable, apparently. Here, knight g5 is a move. Repunge. That's an idea. To, like, take with the queen. So you trade bishop for bishop, not bishop for knight. And now white's threatening, like, e6 and stuff. Quite slaggy. Saggy. This may be like move 11's worst game of all time. Queen takes d1, d takes d5, overextended, down a pawn. Everything's falling apart. There goes the structure. I'm waiting for the good news. You're basically down a pawn, but all your pawns are in the right color. So you have, you know, good coordination with your pawns and bishop. On the plus side, you have an extra half open file. Actually, because you're down a pawn and you have doubled pawns, you have 2 extra half open files the opponent doesn't have. So lots of lines to your pieces here. And it's a blitz game. a4. Don't blame you for that. You know, I don't think you should allow a6. I bet Boris Gelfand plays like a6 or something. He's allowing you to break up his pawns, like, with a6. I can't believe you didn't play a6. This is such an AlphaZero move. Yeah, of course he'll play b6, but then that, you know, could be a winner. It's like gambling. Chess roulette. It's like chat roulette with chess. Knight c3. I'm waiting for move 11 to win this. I don't know what the result is. This is a surprising move. Rook ag1. Just when you thought he was going to play a6. Or, you know, something like, yeah. You don't want to go to the d file and just trade pieces. Probably I would play like rook b1 or something. Then you can't play a6 though. Well, play a6. You should play a6. Come on. Roll those pawns, baby. I'm surprised this game isn't from like 4 years ago or something. Move 11, is this like from 2018? This is from yesterday. It's literally AlphaZero, Alpha Nero. Move 11 is regressing back to 2018. Blitz strength. Oof. You know, it's kind of unbelievable that we're only down a pawn and we just fixed our pawn structure. I'm optimistic now. 1 pawn down against Nero. I still wish you had played a6. You probably would have won. Yeah, rook g4 was maybe better. He could have played that anyway, though. Yeah, he had to go back. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. Yeah, you need to play rook g4 here, and then he'll play this anyway. But I'm kind of optimistic, honestly, move 11. Like, you have chances to save this in a practical game. Like, take f3. I wouldn't want to have it against a GM, but I feel like against an average player, you have some sort of compensation, a little. That was obviously like really not desirable. And then you really paid the price for never playing a6 over there. Now his pawns are fixed on the dark squares. There is a chance to go for b5 though. Rook f4. He didn't want to risk it. Good chance to get mated with king e4 here. Move 11 didn't go there. Hey, it's Miro would definitely play king e4. Hey, it's Miro. Nero. Hey, it's Nero. Hey, it's Nero too. That's what we're gonna call him from now on. Hey, it's Nero. Alright, king d7. Robert DeMiro. Anyway. He snuck up with his king there to stop b5. That was pretty smart. This is Alpha Nero for real. Now he's an engine. He has 3 minutes to move 11's 12 seconds. You gotta blast him with b5 at some point. So he sets it up with rook c1. Yeah, this is a good move. You're threatening to crash through now with b5 check. Oh my god, and he just like allowed it. Bam. Alright. And that's the moment where you're black and you gotta be like, dude, this can be a dangerous situation. I think maybe it's time to play king d7. But the opponent who's like trying to win on time just kicks into like automatic like, okay, f7 is protected. I just picked up on that. So it's like take on f2, and he's not going to lose his f pawn. This is a bit of a problem. You can interpose bishop e3. So move 11. Would it have been better to play like bishop e3, avoiding exchanges, force him to go here, and then play b5? No, his rook's actually pretty good there. Maybe our best bet is to take on h4. Okay, is that what you're going to do? You're going to take on h4? This is like the critical position. Now it's too late to play bishop e3. If you take, he takes on f2. But what if you take on h4? Duh. Take on h4, take on h4, take on c7. This pawn is critical to black having a chance to win the game. So he like has to play rook f5 or rook f4. You think he can't make progress after rook takes c7? Really? Wow. So you think this is still a draw with the crappy structure? Interesting. Well, first of all, I don't think king a6 is all that great. Maybe he needs to take the pawn. So is this really a draw? He's cut off. Yeah, maybe it's just a draw. Wow. So, I mean, I guess ultimately I'm right about king d7 then. Objectively. Damn. Yeah, that's the difference between win and a draw. He just like greedy, grab pawn. Yeah, it's a nice practical defense, b5. You set that up with rook c1. So that shows Sladgie like defensive skill. Slimy technique, you know, envisioning like ways to save lost positions. in a practical game. Good job. So even now it's not over. Still complicated. Well, this guy's trying to win on time. Yeah, this is still sharp, and he's got a B pawn. I would definitely lose. I mean, I think we reached the point where... Wow, h4 is a good move, actually. Damn. Can he... Damn, it's a draw. He can't make progress. Alright. He's gonna build a bridge. So much for our, you know, cut-off theory. Wait a second here. Oh, you can just do it anyway. So rook b1. But wait a second. Is this definitely lost? Take, take. Take, take, king up. f6, h5, takes. King takes, king c5. King g6. e5. Yeah. It matters not. Young Jedi. I still think it's probably a draw. So you're gonna see him walking in here. Now you cut him off. Oh no. Nero. Hey, it's Nero. Okay, it's still a draw. Claiming a draw. Claiming a draw. Claiming a draw. Claiming a draw. I'm claiming a draw. It's Oleg Krivonosov. Claiming a draw. Claiming a draw. Draw. Claiming a draw. Practical try. Check. Claiming a draw. Takes, takes. Kind of feel like doesn't matter. Rook h8. Ooh, only one move. Claiming a draw. White resigns soon. Clearly rook h8 check ain't a bad idea. Oof. Oh my god. So that was it. It was like me. I would lose this too. In the tournament game. Just kidding. f5 was forcing a draw after king g7. No. Don't be so hasty. There's this check. King g5, do you seriously have this? Wow. No, there's no such thing as forcing a draw in this position. Check, king g5. Damn, we're gonna get mated with f6. That's so sick. Pawn takes pawn, f6 check. It's a very easy forced draw. King h5 unknown. Destination unknown with Anthony Bourdain. Winning. That's not unknown. Damn. Oh me. Wow. No, it's complicated. It's a draw. Of course we should look for f5. I thought about it. Wow, he has a win here with king h6. Holy shit. This is instructive. He's winning with king h6. So you made a huge mistake here, move 11, by taking the armor off of his f7. I didn't think it really mattered, but this is a huge blunder. You have to stay on the f7. No, but here you were actually lost after rook a5, king h6. Or rook a8. Rook a8. Rook a8's good enough. Okay. I think it's easier to, you know, visualize staying on the f7 pawn and pinning him, but amazing. And he misses a win. And now rook a8 again. And you're still holding. You know, there's some positions where you could actually like sacrifice your h pawn if he has to take with the pawn, and maybe get like the theoretical like rook and bishop pawn ending. So it's only now that you're lost. He's able to get his king up to like a very good position. Pick off your h pawn. So your last chance is like rook h8 check, king g4. You know, you should try this, bro. This isn't like he's easy winning. If your fish opponent takes on h5, it's a draw. I think you know, you should definitely not give up here. Well, okay, you blundered with rook g4. But if you see that, and you play this check and king g4, you have something to play for here. I mean, check. Wow. This is winning with the split pawns. But nobody knows that. g5, I would play g5 probably. It's difficult to know if this is winning or not unless you have like a perfect knowledge of rooking games and you're Matthias Mueller or whatever, Carsten Mueller or John Nunn or something. At least it's a good practical try. Yeah. Alright, man. Tough game. Very bad Alekhine, though. You need more practice in the Alekhine. Okay, guys. Thanks for your support. We're going to be back Friday morning, and the next week is off. Something just happened. We had to follow. Astrobate tipped $11. Moveling is a family event. See ya when you get your new digs. Very generous. Thank you, Astrobate. Very, very kind of you to donate $11. Lucky 11 from Las Vegas on behalf of Astrobate. Thank you, sir, for the donation. We've got a stream coming up tomorrow morning at 11:30 to be exact, and then Sunday simul. Good luck to... Oh, that's why it's 11. Move 11. And Mr. Coffee and Move 11. We'll see you guys. See you guys when I see you. But good luck. Keep me posted about the private messages. Keep me posted about the U.S. Amateur. Good luck to those guys. Thanks, everybody. Good games. I will see you all when I see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.